Hi everyone, hope you are feeling positive and healthy. Please subscribe with all bell notifications if you haven't already, and please don't hesitate to leave your valuable feedback and advice below. Thank you very much. Let's jump into the stories. I, 27 years old male, just found pics of her, 27 years old female, cheating. I'm sorry if this sounds disjointed, I'm in a bit of a state right now. I was using my girlfriend of 5 years' computer, and I opened an unnamed folder on her desktop. Inside I found pictures of her clearly having intimate time with someone I have never seen before. I can barely type right now, let alone speak. She is at work right now, she won't be home for another 6 hours. I don't know what to do. Reddit. I can't think, I can barely move, I feel so lost. I don't know how I am going to recover from this. I can't afford to move out, but I would rather be homeless than spend one more second here. Any advice on how to proceed or even just some kind words would be appreciated. TLDR, found pictures of later girlfriend cheating, please help. Slight update. Once I felt like I could breathe again. I looked at the EXIF data from the pictures. They're from last month, taken by her phone. Update 2. Thank you, everyone. I still feel like I want to throw myself in front of a bus, less so than before, but I found somewhere to stay until I get back on my feet. If anyone has any suggestions about how to stop feeling like there is a weight slowly crushing my chest, I would really appreciate it. I have some packing to do, but I will try to respond to the thread when I can. Update 3, I'm not vomiting or crying anymore, so I will consider that an improvement. Now I just feel empty, like, somewhere between my belly button and my ribs is a space that used to be occupied and now is vacant. Time heals all wounds, I suppose. First, thank you all for responding to this thread. You have no idea how much it means to me to know that others, even if they are halfway around the world, care about this. Your collective advice and words of encouragement have helped me immensely. Second, to update the situation, my things are packed and in my car. I found someone to stay with temporarily, although I'm not sure for how long. I took the things that were sentimental to me or reminded me of her, drove them out of town, and burned and smashed it all. It was cathartic. I suppose littering the outdoors with my mementos isn't very eco-friendly, but I'm hoping Mother Nature will give me a pass on this one. Third, as per a number of requests in the thread, I changed her desktop background to one of the pictures. Having to look at it again while I did so was even harder than packing, I think, but it is done. It was unnecessary, as I have already asked her via text to never contact me again. But it is satisfying to know that she will have to come home to that. To answer some of the other questions posed in the thread, EXIF data from the pictures said they were taken by her phone last month. I have racked my brain, and surprisingly, I cannot come up with any red flags about the relationship. She is a Redditor, so I am trying to avoid specifics, but they were taken while she was on an extended trip. Perhaps she thought that she could have some sort of fling with someone she met and I would be none the wiser. I can't explain why she left a folder containing these pictures on her laptop. It seems incredibly stupid to me, but it isn't like they were in plain sight. They were among a number of other, seemingly benign pictures. I do not believe she wanted me to find out. She seems very upset and has been begging me to talk with her about it. Finally, I just want to reiterate, thank you, Reddit. The support, the stories, and the kind words have meant more than any of you could know. Thought my story of when I was cheated on and caught them in the act might help, or at least help crack a smile. I know how crushing this feels, but trust me, you'll get over it and realize how much better off you are. Anyway, story time. I had actually come home a week earlier than I was supposed to from the Air Force. This was a good 15 years ago, and figured I'd surprise her since she'd always talk about how much she misses me, would always send me pictures of her in the mail and write these long letters talking about our future together. Naturally, I assumed she would be more than excited to see me walk in the door a week early. Pulled up to the house and figured she was home because her car was there, so I was as quiet as possible. Even parked my car down the street a little so she didn't see me pull up and ruin the surprise. Quietly put the key in the lock and slowly twisted. Opened the door and the living room was dark. I thought, maybe she got picked up by some friends and went out somewhere. Oh well, even better. I'll set up her room by going to get some flowers and making everything look all romantic and irresistible. Hey, it's been a few months. I was a bit pent up at that point. Start walking towards the bedroom and I hear this rhythmic squeaking noise followed by a deep grunt. My instinct reaction was someone broken in trying to rip something off the wall, so I went into ass-kicking mode until a few seconds later I heard a high-pitched moan of a female. Yeah. I recognized that sound pretty well and knew what was happening. Being in the military, I knew the worst possible thing I could do was anything violent, so I wanted to F up whatever moment they were having. I walked towards the room very quietly while they went at it. Of course they didn't hear me because they were far too deep in their actions. Luckily the door was halfway open, so I got down and started crawling towards the bed out of their line of sight, slithered over to the edge of the bed they were closest to and started slowly inching my head up the side until just my eyes were above the edge. It took her a good minute. She was on the bottom. Before she looked over and saw angry eyes staring at her, she freaked out so bad that she kicked the dude in the face and he fell off the bed and hit his head on the wall. She screamed louder than I've heard anyone scream in my life and bounced off the bed in a flailing, sweaty mess, and I heard her ass hit the ground with a satisfying thud. I stood up and the guy was in a heap on the floor, scared crapless at this dude in full military garb standing over him with crazy eyes. She finally realized who it was and started bawling her eyes out saying, "I'm so sorry, I was lonely. Blah blah blah, who cares?" I started laughing hysterically and all I said was, "Well dude, she's your problem now, hope you don't mind herpes." How long has she had the computer? I only ask because maybe this event happened before you two got together. Also, downvoted for asking a relevant question, really? 27 years old male, told my friend, 30 years old male, that his girlfriend, 27 years old female, was cheating on him and he didn't believe me. This is a screwed up situation and I just want his friendship back. I'm also going to use names so it gets less confusing. Basically, I caught my friend's girlfriend, Candace, cheating on him. I went to a pub and she was there, making out with another guy. She saw me, looked scared as crap and ran away. I followed her and said that if she didn't tell him about what she did, I would. She begged me not to and that it was a misunderstanding, but F it. They've been dating for 8 years now. My friend deserved to know. Well, a week went by and nothing happened. Their relationship was the same and he had no clue about the betrayal. I knew she wasn't going to tell him, so I did. I had a serious talk with him and I told him she had cheated on him. At first he thought it was a prank, but when he realized I was being serious he didn't believe me. He accused me of trying to destroy their relationship due to the fact I'm gay, saying I had feelings for him? I was really hurt by what he said, so I told him to F off and left. He didn't even try to stop me and apologize. I'm not waiting for an apologize, but seriously, what can I do in this situation? He's planning on proposing. After 8 years, they're going to get married, and she freaking cheated on him. Is there any way I can make him believe me? TLDR, my girlfriend's friend cheated on him. I told her that if she didn't tell him I would. I ended up having to tell him and he didn't believe me and accused me of having feelings for him due to the fact I'm gay. That's the way these things go. You have done your part, now leave it. She probably used the time you gave her to poison him against you. Cheaters often only really care about narrative control. You did the right thing. Update. 27 years old male, told my friend, 30 years old male, that his girlfriend, 27 years old female, was cheating on him and he didn't believe me. Link to the original post here. Link 1 in description. Here I am again with good news. I went back to the pub and told the manager, "Yo, I really need that surveillance footage, mate. My buddy's girlfriend was making out with another guy and you need to help me, you know?" He of course agreed and asked me on a date afterwards. I'm taken, so I obviously said no. But I did show the footage to my friend who dumped his girlfriend. Just kidding. I went back to the pub and politely asked the manager for footage of that night. He agreed to show me, and then I showed it to my friend. I left a really big tip and I want to give a shout out to you/realbrunhunter for the idea. Thanks. My friend was devastated. Of course, he had been dating Candace for 8 years, but he said I knew you weren't lying. I just couldn't accept it. He also apologized deeply for bringing up my sexuality, and after a long talk, I decided to forgive him because I understand that he was in a bad place. He dumped his GF. Thanks for all the advice. R/relationships. TLDR, I showed the pub footage to my friend and he dumped his GF. I love it when the good guys triumph in the end. Thanks for the update. That's me. You followed my advice. Holy crap, I just saved an 8-year friendship, and saved your friend from a lousy future divorce. Also, I'm calm now and I'm glad it worked out for you, lol. I'm 27 years old male, out of town right now. My best friend saw my girlfriend of 7 years, 26 years old female, out with another man. I found an email. A bit of background. Well, here goes, guys. I am currently out of town visiting family for a week. My grandma, who lives with my parents, is very ill, and I wanted to say goodbye. My girlfriend, who I have been with for 7 years, recently had surgery and didn't feel comfortable traveling the 5-hour car ride with me. Very understandable, because she is still in quite a bit of pain. I've been here about 3 days now, and we'll be spending another 2 here at my parents'. My girlfriend and I have always had a strong relationship. We get along very well. We manage to communicate about almost everything. We rarely fight. In fact, when we do, it's usually about housework. Which admittedly is usually my fault, as I leave too much of it on her. This will be relevant in a bit. We had a fight about the housework right before I left to visit my grandmother. Since she had surgery, she hasn't been about to keep up with the cleaning and laundry much, and the house has gotten a bit out of hand. She is kinda a neat freak, where I am okay with clutter, and even by my standards, the house was getting pretty messy. I promised I would clean up, and I did. But she kept insisting more needed to be done. I thought it was clean, but it wasn't up to her standards. Now that I've left, I can see I was a bit in the wrong, and I feel bad. And I've told her so via text. She seems to forgive me. She didn't mean to snap at me over it. She's in pain and is exhausted and just wants more help around the house. I only see clutter when I clean, but I don't think about things like vacuuming and dusting. I thought we had cleared the air and were okay, but she has been very distant over the days I have been here. Very little communication. And now, I got a text from my best friend telling me he saw her walking about a hardware store with some guy. He described him as tall, with dark black, long hair, and a full beard. This does not fit the description of any of her friends. She was leaning against his arm while they walked around the store. He saw them leave together and walk to the chain restaurant across the street. My girlfriend has never given me the impression she would cheat, ever. We've always told each other when we had cruises on people and been open when other people expressed feelings to us. And with her leaning on the guy, I'm worried. But at the same time, my girlfriend tends to lean on all of her friends she feels comfortable with when there is a lot of walking involved. She had a heart condition, now more exacerbated by her recent surgery, and she does faint on occasion. She always holds my arm when we walk around stores, and I've seen her do the same with her girlfriends. So it may be that she was having a dizzy spell and leaned onto this guy for support. Whoever he is, I've expressed that I'm thinking of leaving here today and coming home early, and after all day of not talking to me, she responded, "No. Visit with your family. You never see them. Spend all the time with grandma that you can. She doesn't have long left, and I'm sure spending her last days with you will be really comforting for her. It's flattering that you were homesick though and you miss me. I miss you too." I didn't want to sound accusatory, so I sent something along the lines of, "Hey, Dave said he saw you at hardware store today and meant to say hi, but didn't have the time." She responded, "I wasn't at hardware store today, just grocery store." Admittedly, I was a bit suspicious. My girlfriend doesn't really do social media. She is a high school teacher, and all she has is a Facebook. She keeps it for professional purposes only and has basically nothing on there, so I decided to check her email. I know, I feel awful, but I'm starting to get worried. She had a few from some generic Gmail around that was basically something like, Sugarlandman1234. There was no Google Plus info on the page. I also Googled the Gmail and could find no other accounts associated with it. The back and forth. Sugarlandman1234. Sorry about the email. Shattered my phone on a job and not gonna replace it until my contract expires. Girlfriend, that's okay. I totally understand. We still on for Saturday? Sugarlandman1234. Yay, I'm free. Is the boyfriend gone already? Girlfriend, yep, he left the other day. Shouldn't be back until like Wednesday. Sugarlandman1234. Cool, sounds good then. Girlfriend, do you want to get dinner or pizza? On me, of course. We will need some fuel, or I imagine we will be exhausted. Sugarlandman1234. That nice of you. Don't know yet. Well, decide that day. I've got my dad's phone now. He don't really ever use it, so I'll text you from there. He'll let you know it's me. That was the entirety of it really. Now I'm even more worried. Should I come home early? Confront her over the phone? Leave it alone until I get home when I was going to anyway? Also, some info that has come up in comments below. She just had a hysterectomy. She is only recently home from the hospital and doesn't have much energy. We haven't had intimate time since the surgery. She says she can't. I honestly believe her because I've changed the bandaging on her stitches and they looks painful. Other than slowly walking around, she can't do too much. My best friend and his girlfriend, now fiancé, have all been mutual friends together for several years and all go out together frequently. He knows for sure what he looks like and that it was her. I'm sure this is not relevant at all, but a guy can hope. My birthday is in 10 days. More information. My friend drove by my house. There is a white truck in the driveway, but the plates on it are from a neighboring state. It's getting kinda late there. Added 3, friend drove by again. Truck is still there. Truck is from another state, but girlfriend has family in that state. My girlfriend is not really close with her family at all. We really only see them on holidays. However, My girlfriend's family owns a construction company. But their company lays concrete. I don't think they have any carpenters or anything like that. I could be wrong though. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt because she had never done anything to make me mistrust her in the past. You guys have been such a comfort to keep me level-headed and I thank you. A lot of you think there is a surprise for my birthday, and I hope that isn't. And many of you think she is cheating, which I hope isn't the case. I don't want to leave early and risk missing out on time with my grandma. Some of you have suggested I have my friend check up on her, but that worries me. Won't I seem paranoid if nothing is going on? Edit 4. On current communication with my girlfriend. I have called her 3 times, and texted her a ton. I haven't been accusatory, just asked what she was doing and if she had any friends over. Basically, we live in a dead zone cell phone coverage wise. We live in a town surrounded by cornfields for miles and miles. We get spotty reception at best. When I last spoke to her she said she was doing laundry and working on a quilt she is making for my mom. Both the laundry and her sewing room are in the basement. We get no service in the basement. A little while ago I got a picture message of our cat laying all over her quilting supplies, and one saying she missed me. It's possible she hasn't gotten my texts because she has very possibly been in her sewing room all day. She can spend hours there working on projects and watching Netflix. She always calls me right before she falls asleep when we are apart though, so I'm waiting for her to call me before bed now. Final edit. Still no call from her, but if she is in the basement quilting and watching Netflix, that is no surprise. She can go for hours. No idea if the truck is still there or not. My friend drove by again around 9 p.m. and it was still there. I'm not going to make him go out again. I'm thinking I will just come home when I was supposed to. If anything is going on, I have proof. I'll update as soon as I am able or when I am actually allowed to post again. Waiting sucks. Update. Link 2 in description. TLDR, out of town. Had a fight with my girl just before I left. Best friend saw her shopping / at a restaurant with another man. I found an email. What to do? This may sound stupid, but am I the only one who thinks she might be planning some sort of surprise and this guy is helping? Who meanders around a hardware store with their lover? Unless he's a prostitute. The email from her indicating that all food and drink would be on her lead me to believe that she's paying him for a service that requires items from a hardware store. Update. I'm 27 years old male, out of town right now. My best friend saw my girlfriend of 7 years, 26 years old female, out with another man. I came home today. Original. Link 3 in description. Sorry for the formatting. I'm on mobile. Well, here goes. I'm going to pick up where I left off with the last post and detail what happened from there. My girlfriend called me at 1 a.m. and apologized profusely, saying she didn't realize what time it had gotten to because she was busy. She normally calls me around 11:30 or so. I decided then and there that I was gonna save the text from Dave, a screenshot of the email, and confront her when I got home. I weighed my options and decided it was better to be cheated on and let it go on a few extra days and spend time with my family, than to rush home or accuse her over the phone and find out she was planning something for my birthday. I think that would ruin her trust in me forever. Nothing seemed odd when she called. She asked after my family, sent me a few progress pictures of the quilt she was making for my mom, told me she loved me and that she would call me in the morning. Monday morning my grandma took a turn for the worse and my brother, mother, and father all gathered at the hospice to spend the final hours with her. Somewhere in the very wee hours of Tuesday morning she passed away from lung cancer. Seriously people, put down your cigarettes. We were really her only remaining family. My father was an only child, and she had no living siblings, and she had moved in with my parents a while ago and hasn't kept in touch with anyone. In lieu of planning a traditional funeral, we just decided to proceed with having her buried next to her husband's plot, something she had already pre-planned, paid for, and requested in her will, and spent Tuesday gathered around in the living room telling stories about her and looking through her shoeboxes full of photographs to create an updated photo album. It was nice, actually. My girlfriend kept in constant contact with me through this whole thing and talked to my parents as well. They love her. During that time I decided to let everything fall out of my mind other than my family. It was pretty evenly split on what people believed about my girlfriend, but what felt right in my gut was that she was planning something for me. Many of you said I was denying any possibility she was cheating and had my head in the sand, that she was blowing this guy, freaking him in my bed, and that she was on some sort of penis-related carnival ride. Some said I trusted her too much and that it would come back to bite me. And many of you said I didn't trust her enough, that I was letting what my friend saw cloud my judgment. There is some truth in that. Many of you wondered if Dave hated my girlfriend or wanted to get with her. I promise you that is not the case at all. Dave has been cheated on before and just wanted to look out for me. If I had asked him to confront her he would have done it in a heartbeat. but even he thought something was up knowing us for as long as he has. I asked him to leave it and that I would deal with everything when I got home. If there really was nothing going on, I didn't want to risk crushing her spirit when she was just trying to do something nice for me. I let my girlfriend know I would be home sometime Wednesday, but I was gonna have breakfast with my family first. She requested I call her when I get in the state. This was my intention, but I was getting so homesick, and I just really needed to see my girlfriend, so I hit the road sometime around 5 a.m. With no rest stops and minimal traffic. I made pretty great time and got home at 10:30 or so. As I pulled into the driveway, I saw the white truck parked there already. I swallowed the lump in my throat and walked up to the front door. I kept repeating in my head that I'd trusted her and that there was nothing going on. As I walked in the front door, which enters into the living room, I locked eyes with the guy. He was sitting cross-legged on the floor in sweatpants and a tank top eating cereal off my coffee table. He looked younger than I thought he would be from Dave's description, but he had a full beard and long black hair in a ponytail. He nodded and said, "Hey dude, welcome back," which felt odd. I just stood there, staring at him, wading through the surrealness of the situation looking for the right words. My girlfriend then came down the hallway, smiled, and hugged me. "Hey, I'm so sorry about Grandma. Any chance you remember my cousin Max? I know it's been a while." I stared at him and I swear I had never seen this person in my life. I just had this sinking feeling and only replied, "I don't think we have met." Aunt Ellen's son, the one that lives in other state, and suddenly it dawned on me, her Aunt Ellen's husband, Uncle Joe, was her second husband. She married young, but split up with this kid's father pretty early. Max lives with his dad in other state, and Max's dad is 100% Italian, which explains the hair. All I could say was, "Whoa man, you've grown up." He just laughed and said, "Yeah, I've changed a bit. The last time I saw this kid he was a chubby, neon green-haired, acne-covered teenager in a tap-out t-shirt. He really came out of puberty well. I think I last saw him 4 or 5 years ago on Christmas." She asked me if we could talk, so I followed her into her bedroom. She basically said he was moving back in with Aunt Ellen and getting a job as a grunt with her family construction company part-time. He wants to go to a local college around us and my girlfriend promised to help him fill out his FAFSA, polish his entrance letter, and study for his placement tests in exchange for some work. He went to an alternative trade school for carpentry his last 2 years of high school and my girlfriend's dad says he did pretty well. She said she had something planned for my man cave, but they hit a few hang-ups and it's taking longer than expected. She brought our Xbox upstairs into the living room and has made me swear I will not enter the basement for any reason until my birthday. I debated pretending I wasn't worried at all, but I like that we are always honest with each other. I told her Dave saw her out with her cousin and had me a bit worried about him. She just laughed and said, "I didn't realize he saw us together." "I thought you meant he just saw me." She said they had walked basically around opposite ends of the store shopping separately. They only met up to check out. She asked why I didn't just ask her who it was. She said could have told me it was Max and still been able to keep the exchange of work under wraps and just told me about the college thing. I basically told her I didn't want to make her feel like I was accusing her of anything, which I think she appreciated. Max is going to be staying here a few more days longer than she planned, which I wish she would have told me about, but after this, that seems like nothing at all. I think she is a bit upset that I could even think for a moment she would cheat on me, but she said she was glad I didn't come flying home early kicking doors in or anything, so I think we are good. Just in case, I'm gonna kiss her ass for a while. Edit 1. Maybe I should clarify that Max is not moving in with us. He is moving back in with his mom. He was already supposed to be home with her by the time I came home, but they hit some snags with whatever he is working on. He is staying a few more days to finish up then going home to his mother's. More information, for those asking why my girlfriend would not tell me why Max was over, she didn't know Dave saw her with him. She just thought he saw her in the paint department by herself. I think she wanted to not arouse any suspicion at all in me. He was supposed to be done before I even got home. I remember her mentioning that he was in carpentry school. I didn't know it was part of a 2-year high school thing, and for some reason I was picturing him as a lot older than he was. I think I had him confused with his older stepbrother. I've had my brother over when she was visiting her best friend out of state before and it was a non-issue. We have a pretty open door policy when it comes to close friends and family, so having him over is a total non-issue for me. I see how it would be an issue for some people, but it's not in our relationship. I think she just wanted me to spend time with my family and not focus on what was going on at home in the slightest. She was going to tell me about the FAFSA/college thing if I asked, but since I didn't, she just decided to keep it under wraps. TLDR, everything worked out. Phew, glad it all worked out well with your lady, though I'm very sorry about your grandmother frown. Reddit deserves a happy story now and again. Congrats on having an awesome girlfriend. Treat her good and step out of your own head more often. Smile. My 24 years old male girlfriend, 23 years old female, accidentally sent me a naked picture. I've been dating Christina for a year. We have been long distance for the last 2 months, with 2 more months to go until she gets back from a program she is in. We often talk over Facebook chat. If you guys don't know how FB chat works, if you copy and paste a photo into the box, it sends it automatically. You don't get to preview it before it sends. So, Christina and I are talking. She says she wants to send me this funny gif of a dog, and then she accidentally sends me a naked picture of herself, in her bedroom. It wasn't a selfie. She quickly apologized and backpedaled, saying that she meant that for me, but she wanted to send it later, as a surprise. I asked her who took it, and she said she set a self-timer on the camera on her iPhone. This excuse especially doesn't make any sense to me, because from the angle it's at, it definitely seems like a person took it. The weird thing is, Christina and I don't exchange nudes. I've never asked any girl for a naked photo, and she's never asked one of me. Sometimes we send each other steamy texts, but that's the extent of it. I'm also suspicious because the photo was already saved to her clipboard, which makes me feel like she pasted it somewhere already. Is my girlfriend cheating on me? How do I even find out? TLDR, my long-distance GF accidentally copied and pasted a nude photo of herself into my Facebook chat. She apologized and said it was meant for me later as a surprise, but we have never exchanged photos and I don't believe her. People saying that self-timer nudes aren't a thing are full of crap. Of the nudes I've gotten, around half have been on timer for the angles. If you have a concern, it's over the fact that she had it ready to go, apparently on her clipboard. But don't jump to the conclusion that she's cheating. Talk to her, make sure you're not calling her unattractive, but ask her why she had that picture locked and loaded when you've never done that before. But don't just toss a relationship cause of people on Reddit. My wife sends me nudes whenever I ask for them. She sets the timer on her phone and takes selfies all the time. Your GF having nudes saved does not equal cheating. Talk to her about it. Tell her how you feel. R/relationships is chock full of insecure and untrusting people that think everything means cheating. Could she be cheating on you? Sure, but the pics don't mean that she is. Don't accuse her of cheating. Tell her that you did not expect her to send you a nude photo, and it caught you off guard. It wouldn't hurt to let her know that you find her attractive in light of the pic. That picture was hot, but I didn't expect it. If you don't trust her responses to your feelings about it, then you simply don't trust your GF, hence your relationship is already dead. Update. My 24 years old male girlfriend, 23 years old female, accidentally sent me a naked picture. Original post, here link for in description. TLDR original. My long-distance GF accidentally copied and pasted a nude photo of herself into my Facebook chat. She apologized and said it was meant for me later as a surprise, but we have never exchanged photos and I don't believe her. Thanks to everyone for their replies. It really helped put things into perspective. For example, it is way more common to take self-timer nudes than I thought, and that it's possible to check the metadata for a photo and find out some details like whether or not it was taken on a self-timer. I want to especially thank /you/just talk about for asking me if Christina and I had actually dated for a full year yet, or if we had an anniversary coming up, because, as it turns out, we did. I don't know why I didn't make the connection on my own. And, as it turns out, my girlfriend is not cheating on me. A couple days ago I got a big package in the mail to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. Among other things, it contained an envelope filled with multiple nude photos of my wonderfully awesome girlfriend, with a note saying, "I know you never asked, but I wanted to give you something special since I can't be there with you." Among the photos was the one that she accidentally sent to me. She also included a USB with the photos uploaded, along with the physical copies, so that I could have digital versions. Here are a few extra details to better explain what happened. Christina did indeed take the photos herself. I asked her, nicely, how she managed to do a self-timer at such a good angle, because my initial reaction to the photos were that somebody else obviously must have taken them. She showed me through FaceTime how she was able to prop her phone up against some objects in her room, and they were exactly from the angle she sent them at. To further corroborate this story, Christina had actually confirmed my address with one of our mutual friends a few days before the accidental copy and paste situation went down. So she had in mind that she wanted to send this package before, not as a cover-up for accidentally giving herself away. When I asked her how she accidentally managed to send that particular nude, she said that she was copying and pasting the files from one folder to the USB she sent me. She forgot that the nude was still on her clipboard. When she tried to send me that GIF, It didn't copy properly, and instead she pasted what was on her clipboard previously. She said she was just relieved that it was me she made this mistake on, and not somebody else. Finally, I took the advice that many of you commented/messaged me. I checked the data on the image files and they were indeed taken recently on a self-timer, so, sigh of relief. Thank you to everyone here for putting my mind at ease. I was convinced that everyone was going to say I was definitely being cheated on. But honestly, Christina has never done anything to even make me suspect that she would be cheating. I am very happy. TLDR, my girlfriend is not cheating on me. She took those nudes to send as part of a surprise package to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. It's nice to see a happy ending on here every once in a while. You lucky effer. Glad it worked out, but if my boyfriend was that skeptical of me sending a naked pic and questioned me cheating and jumped to conclusions, I would not be happy. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories delivered to you. Thanks for listening. See you later.